Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity to practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Colin,
Yeah, you hear me?
barely.
Alright. Alright, so barely. You hear me better now?
A little better now, yeah, man.
Alright, cool. So, welcome Theoneil Myles, otherwise known as Liam. So before we get into it, let's just mention some things Theoneil is known for. He's a travel blogger, a minimalist, not the average Jamaican, as the average people view a Jamaican, a UA graduate, an aspiring YouTuber, among other things, which the public may not be able to discern from the profile. So, welcome to the Reframe Mindset podcast. How are you doing today?
Well, today I'm doing good today. Not much to complain about. Glad to be here on your podcast. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming.
All right, cool. So let's get into the interview. So, we meet up on UA and Preston, but before then, it's been a long journey until then. So let's just start from the journey to UA. Tell us, where did you grow up? What primary school and high school you went to? What was it like? And what eventually made you decide to go to University of the West Indies and Assam Preston Hall as the place to go?
Well, I grew up in this tiny town or a rural town called Silo in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. And at the age of 6, my family moved to a house that they built for themselves in a place called Balaclava, Phoenix Park, Balaclava, St. Elizabeth. And from there, I went to the Santa Cruz Primary and Junior High. And then from Santa Cruz Primary, I did GSAT, passed for Manchester High School. I
Yeah.
spent I spent 7 years there, straight up to upper six. And from upper six, I went to University of the West Indies. Now, what inspired me to go to the University of the West Indies was, of course, its tradition and the career that I wanted to go into, which was dentistry, required that a university degree is a must, of course. But when I started university, of course, things changed because of circumstances, and I switched major. So I majored in management studies and accounting. So that's what I did my bachelor's degree in.
Yeah. And how did you end up choose Preston as a place to dorm?
Well, I chose Preston because I saw some of the pictures online during in sixth form when we were choosing the halls to live on. I was doing the research and I saw some of the pictures online of Preston Hall. And as you know, they call Preston Sandals Miami. If I'm correct, if I remember correctly, they call it Sandals Miami, and I saw the pictures online and they look really good. It reminded me of home because of how it's set up, how it's designed. So I was really interested in living on Preston over the other traditional halls, for instance, Chancellor and Taylor, because those are um, pretty traditional, and I'm not somebody who likes regular things or traditional things. So Preston had a good appeal to me.
Uh, so, yeah, well, I mentioned before what you chose to study at UWI, but next question will be, so you came on Preston, I think maybe 2 years or so before me. So you're supposed to have a glimpse of this great Preston glory days that everybody always talk about. So tell us about your orientation experience, and was it all that you expected it to be, and did it live up to the hype that people talk about?
Well, I came to Preston Hall in the year of 2012, and the year before, I heard that the year before was more exciting than the year I was in. But the years following me, orientation was toned down because of new regulations. But my experience was very good. It was fun. Um, we had a lot of challenges to solve, a lot of challenges to overcome, and the experience was fun overall. But for the newer people who came in after me, I would understand that the experience would have been more toned down or different for them.
So tell me about your roommate journey from the double room to the eventual single room in the corner. I know, you must have some nice stories from your experience.
Well, when I just came on Preston in first year, I had a roommate. I can't remember his name right now, but we had some experiences. Of course, growing up, I never had to share a space with somebody else. So you it was a new experience, and I had to adjust with sharing the space with somebody who I didn't know before, I never saw before in my life, and learning how to adapt to different behaviors. That was a fresh thing. That was a brand new thing that I had to overcome. Um, Now I had roommates for 3 years straight. I spent 4 years on Preston, and for the 4 years, I had a roommate for three of the four. I don't have any complaints for the other roommates. I remember Christoph Blake. Christoph Blake was a good roommate, quiet guy, cool guy. And Kevin Wright was my other roommate. Kevin was another cool guy. No trouble. We used to watch anime together. Well, I would be watching the anime, and he would be on the other side of the room, peeping over and watching the anime on the laptop. And he was in the same program as I was, so he was in accounting, and I was in accounting as well. So he was a good help. He was a year above me studying, so he was a good help um, during the course. So I really appreciated having a roommate like that, and appreciated having Christopher as a roommate as well, because he's from a similar background from where I'm from. So roommate journey, I had some adjustment to do, but when I finally got to fourth year, final year, I had a single room for myself, so it was back to normal.
Uh, all right, well, mentioned various times that you switch major and things. So you can just talk in more details about your experience in science and technology, and or the faculty that you work in, and what made you made that serious decision to say, yeah, it's time to switch.
Well, originally I was partially accepted into the dental program over at UTech, but of course, for various reasons, um, I didn't proceed with doing dentistry at UTech. So I started doing the sciences in pure and applied faculty, which was later renamed to science and technology. So really, I was in the faculty and studying courses or studying programs that really didn't, what would you say, apply to me. I didn't have a passion for these courses. I was just doing them for doing them sake with no direction. And within about 3 months after starting the year, I said to myself, this is a waste. This is a waste of my time. I have no direction. I don't know what I'm going to do with biology, physics, and chemistry. And the other science courses that I was doing, I felt no drive to continue to do these courses. And I looked into the future. I did my research, and I saw that these courses or this program that I'm in normally doesn't lead to any worthwhile career. You would have to do a master's or work extremely hard to get into medicine after finishing that 3 year degree. So I did my analysis and I did some research and I figured that it's time to make a switch. It's time to find something that I'm passionate about or something that will lead to a successful career. So after doing some research, I figured that management studies and accounting was a safe bet, and that's where I ended up. So after 3 months, I snuck into the social sciences faculty. I took up some social sciences courses, and officially entered into social sciences faculty in my second year.
All right. And in your opinion, being here now and looking back, was that a worthwhile decision in the long term? Looking back now.
Well, honestly, looking back now, I think that decision to leave this pure and applied faculty and do accounting and management studies as a major was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life because it completely changed the trajectory of where I ended up. So I mean, if I had stayed in pure and applied faculty, I probably wouldn't be where I am at today. And I would consider myself to be in a good position at this moment just because of that decision.
Uh, so you before me and you finish before me. You so you experience working with before. So tell me your experience transit and you with the working with. I just
Well, transitioning from university to the working world is a challenge. I mean, I had no experience of what the working world really was like. I didn't do much internships or summer jobs during my university tenure. So transferring or moving into the working world was a shock. It was a big adaptation for me. But of course, I learned a lot, and I learned how to adjust to this new environment. And I consider myself to have done well in my first job, in my first career. So I had a lot of challenges to overcome, a lot of learning to do, and I overcame them.
so from I know you're a minimalist and an optimizer and a low key it could be used as some of my minimal skills, minimalist skills stuff. So where did you get that ingrained into you? And tell the audience why why they should consider becoming a minimalist.
Well, minimalism wasn't something that was ingrained into me. It was something that I always did in some way, shape, or form. And minimalism is living simply or ensuring that you have only key items in your life to avoid clutter. So minimalism is basically about living simply so you can focus on things that really matter to you. And I was always this kind of person, but I didn't know that there was a definition behind it. So during the modern age, this new term minimalism started to gain traction, and I learned about it, and realized that all right, I'm a part of this movement. Whether I chose to be a part of the movement or not, I was naturally a part of it. So I'm somebody who try to live simply. I don't have a lot of unnecessary items. Before I try to acquire anything, I think deeply about it. Is this item necessary, or is it going to add value to my life before I add it to my life? So I always put a lot of thought before doing anything before acquiring anything, because you don't want to have something that's low value and that is taking up space, taking up brain space, taking up physical space. And I wouldn't like I wouldn't say I would want to recommend this lifestyle to people, but if it's a lifestyle that resonates with you, I would recommend it, because it opens up so many doors for you. Um, it helps you to clear your mind. It helps you to have a space that is clean, and a space where you can think of what is really important to you.
All right. So you turn your eye into a travel. How has that journey been? Tell us about some key that you have seen and learned on this journey. And tell us how you create your travel and why should you do that?
All right, Colin, I didn't hear that question. Can you repeat that one?
Yeah. So you turned your IG into a travel blog. So how has that journey been? Tell us about some cool places that you have been and things you have seen and learned on this journey. And tell us how did you create your travel blog and why should you do it if you're a normal listener or consider doing
Well, I was somebody who I was always interested in traveling, in experiencing new things. So in my first job, I did a lot of traveling. My job was about traveling in the first place, traveling to um, different branches of the business. So during my travels, I had to stay over in different locations of the island for weeks. So I used the opportunity to, in the weekdays or on the weekends, I used the opportunity to find a new destination to visit. Even though I didn't have company, you know, I said to myself that, all right, I can't just be going to work and going back home, and that's all that life is about. I had to find something to occupy my time. So the first place that I went to was, I think, um, Mystic Mountain. So I was stationed in town of Ocho Rios for one of my work trips. And one Sunday I said to myself, let me find somewhere fun to go, because I can't just be going to work and coming back to the hotel, and that's all I'm doing. I need to find somewhere, something fun to do. So I took myself and I went to Mystic Mountain. That's the first place I went to, and I went to Mystic Mountain by myself. And the next place that I went to was the Green Grotto Caves. So I went to Green Grottos when I was stationed in Montego Bay. And one Sunday I was like, I went to Mystic Mountain myself the last time, so I can probably go to another place again myself this time again. So I searched Google on Google where is the nearest fun place to go, and Green Grotto came up, and I was like, you know what, let me visit Green Grotto. So I took a trip by myself and I went to Green Grotto, and that's where it basically started from. So my Instagram page was just an exhibition, was just showing some of the places that I went to, and eventually I had so many content on the Instagram page that I converted it to a travel blog, a travel page. Now some of the other places that I went to was Somerset Falls. I've been to Frenchman's Cove, and I already said Mystic Mountain and Green Grotto Caves. I also went to Good Hope, Chuka Good Hope, which is an excellent place for anybody that wants to have uh, some good fun at a affordable cost. So that's Chuka Good Hope. And some various places that are close by to my hometown. So, like Oxford River, otherwise known as Noisy River. I've been to multiple places in Negril and multiple places in the hills. So, in the mountains, in the hills, that's my favorite place to be, up in Hollywell or Blue Mountain. So, these are just a few places that I've visited so far. And the journey so far has been good. I'm on a break right now, on a little pause right now because of the situation that we're facing in the world.
Yeah.
But as soon as it is ended, I hope to start traveling the world instead of just within Jamaica. So I had actually had a trip planned to the country of Peru right before the outbreak happened. So as that is, as soon as travel restrictions have eased, then I think I'll be traveling the world soon.
All right. I get excited to tell the world, All right. So tell us about your YouTube channel right now that you're trying to grow. How has that been, and what has the reception been like so far?
Well, starting a YouTube channel has been a challenge so far. So it's never easy to jump into something new. You have to think about your approach, and you have to market your product. So it's been a challenge so far. I'm not thinking too deeply on it at this moment in time. It is just something that I am doing for fun. I'm doing as a hobby, and hopefully it will gain traction just by me putting in um, me exhibiting my passion for video editing and video creation, because YouTube has provided me with new insights on how to improve myself, because after filming every video and editing every video, I take the time out to think of how can I improve the next video, and I use that to apply to my personal life. How can
Yeah.
I improve myself? How can I be a better person? So YouTube has allowed me to look into an insight like this. So as I said, I'm not really focused too deeply on YouTube right now. It is more of a hobby. um, but I'll be consistently putting out videos on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and hopefully it will gain traction soon. And for anybody who is out there who wants to start a YouTube channel, I would say that, of course, you have to put in the work. You have to think about it, but don't think about it too hard. Just start, because the longer you think about it, is the more doubt that you will have, and the longer it will take you to start a YouTube channel. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, just don't think about getting the latest and greatest camera, a tripod, some ring lights, or any additional equipment. If you have your phone on you, just record a video, record something that is on your mind, and post it. That is my advice for anybody who wants to start a YouTube channel right now.
Yeah, and I recommend that for anything because that's right here started basically on the phone that I'm using now, recording with you. And now I have a mic stand and PC set up and thing. And that's because eventually the phone, the podcast was actually doing better than I actually thought. And then more opportunities just came in randomly from the podcast that made me just say, let me just invest more, and then I'm here. Yeah. So you just doing it as a hobby, and then all of a sudden, it just comes up because of the YouTube.
Right, right.
So the next question is, how has living in Kingston been like compared to where I've grown up?
Well, living in Kingston, as you know, has been a challenge, and it has taken a lot of adjustment as well, because it's a new environment. It's so different from where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a rural town where there's a lot of vegetation, a lot of bushes around, rivers in the backyard, fruit trees in the backyard. When I'm hungry, I can go around the back and get something to eat. I don't have to, think about going to the supermarket if I'm hungry, or ordering from a food app if I'm hungry. So in that aspect, living in Kingston is a bit different to living in a rural town. But I appreciate living in this urban area because I'm somebody who is into technology, into modern day living, and I like the services that are available to me here in Kingston. There are so many hotspots. There are so many restaurants. Where I'm from, if I go to the gas station right now and try to get some gas, there's no card machine for me to use, and I'm somebody who I need my card machine. I don't use cash whatsoever. So services like that not being available in rural areas make me appreciate living in Kingston much more. Of course, there are negatives. Of course, you have the crime, increased crime. That that's a big difference between where I'm from and in Kingston right now. Where I'm from in the rural area, I can leave my door open. I can walk openly in the street and not have to worry. And but in Kingston, you have to be more mindful in how you operate here and where you go. And of course, you need to keep your doors and your windows closed. But overall, living in Kingston has been um, overall good experience. It has opened more opportunities up for me. I don't think anybody would have that kind of opportunity living in a rural area. So that is why you find so many people, so many millennials, there are so many young people coming to Kingston to find a life here.
So, what does Kingston that the place you have grown up as has, and vice versa?
So Kingston, I would say, doesn't have anything. Um, Kingston doesn't have anything what where my rural town has. So they're two completely different areas. As I said, where I'm from, it's in the bushes, a lot of vegetation, fruit trees in the back. There's a river running in the back. And Kingston is more a concrete jungle. There are no rivers here. There are barely no trees here. If I'm hungry right now, I can't go to the back and pick a breadfruit from the tree or pick a banana or pick a apple from the tree. Um, it's two completely different environments, two completely different worlds.
Uh, so, goal settings and financial planning. Tell us about how these two things have helped you achieve your aspirations you have set for yourself.
Well, goal setting is a very important um, objective for everybody, because if you don't have a goal, if you don't have goals working towards, then you will become depressed or you won't have anything to look forward to. So you have to have goals working towards in life, otherwise you will never be successful, because people define success as having a good job or having an expensive car or a nice house. But success is driven by the goals that you set. So you set your goals and you achieve these goals, and that is what drives success. So goal setting is very important, and it has realizing this has helped me to grow as a person and to fulfill my objectives in life. And financial planning is also very important, especially for us millennials out there in the world. Um, we have so many obstacles facing us. If you look even at the housing market today, in our day and age, the housing market is very tough, very sticky for us to actually get into. So if you have any aspirations of owning a home, then you really have to start investing soon. So if you're in university right now and you're about to graduate this year, and the first paycheck that you get from your first job, I would suggest that you invest it, not save, because saving is not going to get you anywhere. You have to invest your money. If you save, you're simply wasting your time, you're wasting money. And if you think that you're going to save yourself into retirement, then you are in for a rude awakening. So financial planning is very important for us, especially us millennials here. Otherwise, you won't achieve any of your desires or any of the objectives that you have in life.
So, last question. What ideally do you have planned?
I didn't hear that question. Colin, can you repeat that one?
Yeah. So the last question is what ideally do you have planned for the rest of the year?
Well, for the rest of the year, I said that I won't put any solid plans in place because you realize what can happen when you put plans into place and they don't go to plan. As what you would notice with last year, I said that I had plans to visit Peru, and as soon as I was going to book the ticket, the first case of COVID-19 appeared in the country of Peru, so I had to cancel those plans. And you can see that people have also made plans last year and they've lost their jobs and other negative effects from this pandemic. So what I've realized is not to take things too seriously sometimes. Just go by the flow. So I don't really have any solid plans or any timeline. I have plans, but I don't have a timeline for them anymore. So I have some objectives, I have some goals, but I'm not saying, all right, I need to achieve this by December or I need to achieve this by March 2022. So I'm just going by the flow right now, and whenever they happen is when they happen.
All right. And that was the last question. So I wanted to say thank you, Mr. Miles, for coming on the Reframe Mindset podcast. You can take this time to mention anything that you want the guests to know about, services or anything that you want the guests to maybe look into you for.
Well, I just want to say to follow my YouTube channel. I think that the link will be in the description. But if you don't know, or if you're not going to see the link in the description, the YouTube channel is Simple Discoveries on YouTube. And so thank you for having me. And it was good to have this brief chat with you on your podcast. I know it's been a while, it's been a long time that you've been asking me to come on, but I've been busy with a lot of things. Of course, you know that I'm a working man. I have a lot of things doing, but I took the time out to come on your podcast today. So thank you for having me again.
Come on, and starting it, we have so many problems, but look at that, 31 minutes later, it just came up great.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man.
Now, great.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
So she helped me do that, which was one of those good Samaritan that came in the clutch. And I end up at the place. So boom. I'm at the place now, and this place is kinda really bad area. Mm. And the second thing about it is that it's far from UE. So I had to walk a good distance from there to actually go to UE. And then a lot of drive never really go come come there, you know. So like every day now until the Friday. So the it was it the Friday, either the Friday or the Thursday was the masquerade. And I think it was a Thursday. But every day now I would actually go into Kingston, downtown Kingston, and